Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So I decided to do another swatches and samples video for you. Now, when I have done these in the past, I have had several comments on how a lot of you like that I do both a crochet and knit sample, because for the bi-stitchers of us in this group, it gives you a clear idea of how the yarn could play out in both the different fibre crafts. So today I have picked a yarn that a lot of you from the other side of the pond will be familiar with, but it is one that I am not, so I was just as interested to see how it would work up in both the different fibre crafts. So I was gifted this in Happy Mail by the beautiful Erin over at Crafting Kitty. She had gifted me a skein of Mainstays 100% acrylic. It is 285 yards or 260 metres, 5 ounces or 141.7 grams. It is a medium weight number 4, or an Aran as we call it here in the UK, and it recommends a 5.5mm needle and a 5.5mm hook. Now this particular skein is the pink multi colourway, and as you can see there, it is made in India. And you guys buy it from Walmart. So because this is an unfamiliar yarn for me, I thought it was the perfect candidate to do this little swatches and samples video. So for all my bi-stitchers out there, this one does include you. Now, I do not knit for fun. I only ever knit for these particular videos. And that is because I am so painfully slow at knitting. It isn't even funny. It took me the majority of an evening just to do the tiny little knit swatch that I'm going to show you in a bit. Never say never, maybe at some point in the future, but for right now, predominantly this is a crochet channel here at Manfa's Makes, but I do include the knitters in this particular segment because it may help you choose whether the yarn is right for your project or not. Now, as I read out, it recommends a 5.5mm for both needles and hooks. So those are exactly what I used to try and get a more realistic swatch or sample for you. You do have to bear in mind though, guys, that I am extremely tight with my crochet and I am an even tighter knitter. So for me, if I was going to use this yarn in a project, I perhaps would need to go up a hook size or two and a needle size or two, because I had to wrestle with the needles in particular quite a bit. Now with the knitting, I can only do the basic knit stitch and the basic purl stitch, and what I do is I knit one way and I purl the next, and that is the sample that I show you on these videos. But first of all, I am going to show you the crochet swatch. So this is the pink multi. Obviously it's naked at the minute because I just had the label here in my hand. And what I do for these videos as well is I do one of the samples from the center pull and one of the samples pulling from the outside, so that when I frog these samples after I get off camera, I can just wind it back up, pop it back in, put the sleeve on, and it looks just as good as new, ready to be used in an actual project. So as you can see, it really is pink multi. We have 1, 2, 3 different shades of pink, and we have a white going through there as well. Sometimes where the pinks meet, it does cause a little bit of another shade of pink, but predominantly there are 3 different shades of pink and a white. So as you can see, it is quite a busy variegated yarn, but I must confess, when I'm doing the knitting with variegated, I like the knit in variegated more than I like the crochet. I love them both, but I do think that variegated is specifically made to be more complementary to the knitters. But that is just my opinion. Don't come for me. It's just what I've found. But yarn is beautiful no matter what. I don't mind whether it's solid, variegated, self-striping. I really, really just love it all. to be perfectly honest with you, and I like that a variegated gives it interest, different pops of colour as you're working. The colour changes so frequently that you never get bored of working with it. It just ticks a lot of boxes for Manfa. Now these stripes are fairly short stripes in this variegated, as you will see in the samples. So for the crochet sample, like I said, I used the recommended hooks and needles. So I used my 5.5mm clover, which is the green one. And this is how it worked up. Now it is super pretty. And we all know that pink is one of Manfa's favourite colours. So I was more than happy to do this video. Now at the bottom I have 3 rows of single crochet. Obviously US terms. I know I'm a UK person, but I prefer US terminology. So I did 3 rows of single crochet. Then I did 3 rows of half doubles, 3 rows of doubles, and then, yes, I even did a row of popcorns. Would you believe it? Now, if I get that sample nice and up close for you, as you can see down here in the singles, the colours do stripe for a little bit longer, but that's because it is the smallest stitch apart from a slip stitch. The half doubles, the stripes shorten a smidgy bit more. And then in the doubles, they really do shorten. So you do get a different look with this yarn depending on the size of the stitch that you use. And then the bobbles are all kind of mixy-matchy because the stripes are so much shorter. And for these popcorns, I did 4 doubles and then took my hook out, went into the first double, into the 4th double, pulled them together and chained. So they are quite big, robust stitches, but as you can see, the stitch definition is absolutely gorgeous. Now this is a bog standard acrylic, guys. It is just a generic everyday acrylic, but I am told that this yarn is a very reasonable price over there in Walmart. So if you are looking for one of the cheaper options that still have good stitch definition, that aren't bothersome to use, then I would recommend the Mainstays. I have also been told that the Mainstays have limited colour choices, so that may be a little bit of an issue. But if you do a lot of charity donations, or you know, you just want cost-effective yarn for your projects, then yes, Mainstays could be one for you. But the popcorns definitely stick out. Look, there is a lot of gorgeous stitch definition in there, so it doesn't matter what stitch you use with this yarn, you are going to be able to see it. Now for me, I think I prefer how the colour pulls in the half doubles. That is just a personal preference, but none of them are offensive to me. I would use any of these stitches with this yarn. I really do think that it is a yarn that you can use for literally any stitch, guys. Now the colours obviously could mask some of what you're doing, but if you're just looking for colour pooling and things, this is definitely one for you. I had no trouble working with it. It's an alright 4-weight. It might be slightly on the thinner side of a 4-weight that you guys are used to. But for me, it is a nice 4-weight because I find that the yarns here in the UK are much thinner than the yarns there in the US. So it is on the smaller side of a 4 for your guys' standard, but nice for me. It isn't the softest acrylic that I've ever felt, but it certainly isn't the roughest. It's kind of middle of the road, really affordable, and like I said, I had no issues working with it, and the stitch definition is lovely. So overall, I really do think this is a great, inexpensive acrylic yarn. So that is the crochet sample. Let me know, guys. Those of you that use this quite a bit, are you a fan? Have you found others you like more? Is it a go-to for you? Or just let me know your opinions, because a lot of us in the UK won't have had the opportunity to use it, but you guys who are the experts, who have those big box stores that can just nip to Walmart and grab a skein, let me know your thoughts. So let's move on to the knit swatch, shall we? So remember, I knit one way and I purl the other. And here is the knit sample here. Try and get it to focus on the knitting. There we go. Now with this style of knitting, it does curl. So it would need blocking if I ever made a bigger project in it. But as you can see, the colours run fairly consistently throughout. It has a completely different look to the crochet colour pooling. That white almost stripes it perfectly. So that is the front of the knitted piece, and then I will show you the bumpy purl side as well. So I think it looks lovely in either sample, to be honest with you. I had no trouble with it splitting. I had no trouble with it catching on itself. It is absolutely a-okay. So there you go. There's the proof that Manfa can knit. She just chooses not to. So there we have it. Those are the two examples. It's quite a plumpy fabric once it's been worked up. It's not like thin and threadbare. It's quite nice and plumpy in both of the samples. Now obviously you use a lot less yarn when you knit than when you crochet, but with, what was it, 285 yards, I reckon you would be able to get a fairly nice scarf if you knit it. Definitely could get a hat out of it if you crocheted. Also, you do get a pattern on the back of the label of this one. There's a petite crochet basket, and you just use the one ball. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there is actually a crochet pattern on the inside, which is absolutely wonderful. Now for this one, I don't know if I did the washing instructions or not. I think it's machine wash low, do not bleach, low tumble dry, do not iron, do not dry clean. So the fact that you can machine wash and tumble dry on a low setting means that it's easy to care for as well. So that is a big pro point to this yarn. Oops, ow, sorry. Bumped my elbow. So yes, this one is a winner chicken dinner for Manfa. Like I said, let me know down below, have you used this? What projects have you made with it? Is it a go-to? Are you a fan? Are there nicer ones out there? Let me know, let me know. I am so interested. Like I said, the only reason why I've got this in my stash is because I was gifted it in Happy Mail, which I am super, super pleased about. Because otherwise I may not have had the opportunity to play with it like I have. And the fact that I have managed to both crochet and knit with it, because like I said, I'm quicker and more proficient in crochet, obviously it just flew off the hook, absolutely fine. But it was absolutely fine to knit with as well. It's just my tension. I almost death grip my knitting needles and my hook, but that is just the way that I work. And that is a me thing, and like I said, because I knit and crochet so tightly, I would have to go up a couple of hook sizes or a couple of needle sizes, but I reckon for the majority that do have an average tension, you would be able to use the recommended hooks and needles without a problem. So yeah, I think that's literally all I have for this video. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I really do appreciate it. I will of course link Crafting Kitty, otherwise known as Erin, in the description box as well, because I have mentioned her today. So Erin, if you ever watch this, thank you so much for gifting me with that yarn. I had a lot of fun playing with it. It enabled me to have this video as content as well, but it also gets to go back on my yarn wall to eventually become an actual project. So I get to play with it more than once, which is fabulous. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. Thank you for picking such a gorgeous colourway as well. And thank you all for coming by and watching. I really do appreciate it. Please do head back tomorrow because we have an episode of Have You Ever Wondered? I haven't done one of them for a little while. So if you are intrigued, the Have You Ever Wondered series is where I solve a mystery, or I conduct an experiment, or I try and teach you something. So if that sounds appealing or intriguing, please do come back tomorrow. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys, love ya.